Okay, let's talk about something that is pretty much every homeowner's worst nightmare. That heart-stopping moment when you see water, and a lot of it where it absolutely shouldn't be. It feels like pure chaos, but I promise you, there is a clear path from that initial panic to getting everything back to normal.
So just imagine this for a second. You hear a weird sound downstairs. You go to check it out, and bam, your feet are suddenly soaked. A pipe has burst. Your home is flooding right now. What do you do? What happens in these next few minutes and hours is, and I'm not exaggerating, absolutely critical. And here's why. That clock starts ticking the second the water hits. It doesn't just get things wet, it actively destroys them. Stuff like drywall and your flooring, they act like giant sponges, just soaking it all up. And the really scary part? Mold. That's not some far-off problem. It can start growing, seriously colonizing, in just 24 to 48 hours. So how fast you act is everything.
So, to help you get a handle on all this, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with how to even gauge the damage. Then we'll walk through what the pros do, their playbook. We'll get into the actual science of drying, because it's pretty cool. And then tackle that beast, the insurance maze. And we'll finish up with the most important part, your own critical first steps. Think of this as your roadmap from total chaos to being back in control. All right, let's dive right in. Before you can even think about fixing the problem, you have to understand what you're really up against. And a huge first step is figuring out what kind of water you're dealing with. Because trust me, not all water is created equal.
So where does this water even come from? Well, it could be a bunch of different things. You've got your classic pipe burst, especially when it freezes, but it could also be a nasty sewer backup, a slow leak from the roof after a storm, your sump pump deciding to just quit on you, or, the dishwasher or washing machine overflowing. And each one of those carries a totally different level of risk.
And the pros, they have a very specific, very scientific way to classify that risk. It's called the ICRC S500 standard. Now, this isn't just some casual guideline. It's the official, by-the-book protocol that defines how to classify water contamination. It's all about keeping everyone safe during the cleanup. And this is where it gets really interesting. It all breaks down into 3 categories. Category 1 is clean water, from a broken supply line. Pretty low risk. Category 2 is what they call gray water. Think water from a dishwasher. It's got some gunk in it. But category 3, that's black water. This is the serious stuff, from a sewer backup or flooding, and it's full of dangerous pathogens. Figuring out the category is a huge deal, because it dictates the entire safety plan and cleanup process from that point on. So, you know the category of water. Now what? Well, that's when the professional playbook comes out. Once the situation's been assessed, a very methodical, proven process kicks in to bring order back to the chaos and get your home dry, clean, and safe again. It's not just random. There's a proven 4-step process they follow. It all starts with that first emergency call and getting a team dispatched immediately. Then they get on site, assess everything, and most importantly, extract all that standing water. Step 3 is usually the longest. That's the structural drying and constant monitoring. And finally, they do a final verification to make sure everything is 100% dry before any restoration work begins. So, how long does all that take? Well, obviously every job is different, but a typical professional drying project takes somewhere around 3 to 5 days. Day 1 is all about getting that water out and setting up the heavy-duty equipment. Then, for the next few days, it's all about daily monitoring of moisture levels until everything hits a safe, dry standard. It's a process you just can't rush.
So you might be wondering, what really makes professional drying so different from, just pointing a few box fans at a wet spot? Well, it really all comes down to the science of moisture removal and the incredible equipment they use to do it. Yeah, this slide pretty much says it all, doesn't it? We are talking about a level of water removal and drying that is so far beyond what any of us have in our garage. It's a completely different universe from a bucket and a mop.
And here's the gear that makes it happen. You've got truck-mounted extractors that can pull out thousands of gallons of water. Then there are commercial dehumidifiers that literally suck moisture out of the air. High-velocity air movers create this powerful airflow to speed up evaporation. And then you have the really cool tech, like thermal cameras and moisture meters that can find hidden pockets of water you'd never see with your own eyes. And to give you a real sense of the power we're talking about here, get this. A single one of those commercial-grade dehumidifiers can pull 180 pints. That's more than 22 gallons of water out of the air in just one day. Your little home unit can't even come close to that. That's the kind of performance that makes all the difference. Okay, now for the part that often causes the most headaches, the insurance claim. This can feel like trying to find your way through a maze blindfolded, but I'm telling you, the right approach can make all the difference between a smooth process and a total nightmare. So, what's the secret? It's one word: documentation. If there is one golden rule to remember, it's what you see right here. Proper, thorough documentation is what turns a potential argument with your insurance adjuster into a straightforward approved claim. It is your absolute best friend in this situation.
So what does that good documentation actually look like? Well, it's a whole file. You need photos and videos of absolutely everything. You need a detailed report that outlines all the work being done. You need the daily logs from those moisture meters we talked about. And you even need a list of every single piece of equipment that was used on the job. This is the hard evidence that gets your claim approved, no questions asked.
Okay, we've talked about the whole professional process, but let's bring it right back to you. Let's focus on the most important time frame of all, what you need to do in the first 15 minutes after you find the water. Your actions here are just paramount. Here is your immediate 3-step action plan. First, and this is the most important, stop the water. Find your main water shutoff valve and turn it off. Seriously, go find it right now so you know where it is before an emergency happens. Second, turn off the electricity to the wet areas, but be extremely careful. If there's standing water near your breaker panel, don't go near it. And third, call for professional help. Remember that 24-hour clock for mold? It's already ticking.
And we'll leave you with this thought. For most homeowners, a serious water emergency isn't really a matter of if it will happen, but when. So the real question is, are you prepared? Knowing what to do in those first few moments can save you thousands of dollars and an unbelievable amount of stress. Being proactive is truly your best and maybe only defense.